Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Everybody food, Malarka. Okay. So I want to do a brief introduction about ATA, American Tamil Entrepreneur Association. If you look at the motto of ATA, it is, as you can see here, link, learn, and lead. We want to link through networking opportunities like what we have been experiencing the last few minutes. Thank you all for coming well ahead of time. I think like almost by now we all would have met like 3-4 new acquaintances. Did you? Okay, if not, like we are going to meet like more people during the rest of the day. The next objective of ATA is learn. And that is why like we want to bring in speakers, professionals who have done it, who have built unicorn companies, so that we can gain from their expertise, from their experience, from their wisdom. So we have today lined up a marquee list of speakers, CEOs, venture capitalists, startup founders. So that's the purpose of Learn, so that we all can learn from each other, from our experiences. Lead. We also want to deliver through the ATA platform opportunities to lead, to volunteer. And if you can imagine the effort that went behind this event, and if you can also imagine how many leaders this event would have produced, it is amazing. You will not believe us how many organizers who stepped up. We call ourselves as organizers, not volunteers, organizers. How many of them like stepped up to take up leadership roles? So it is going to be a stepping stone for them to lead their own companies, to bootstrap their entrepreneurial journeys. So that being the motto of ATA, the South Central chapter of ATA has got a mission to deliver empowering sessions. That is what you are going to witness today, empowering sessions, engaging moments, elevating opportunities, enriching conversations, so that we all emerge as leaders. So welcome to Emerge 2023. Without much ado, we will get into the meat of our day's proceedings. Thank you all and welcome once again on behalf of ATA and the South Central chapter and all the organizers. Have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Akshaya Dula and I'm a junior in high school.
Hi, my name is Ritik Sriram and I'm a freshman in college.
So Ritik, what's the total valuation of Indian startups?
I don't know. Does somebody in the audience know the number?
Anyone want to take a guess? Anyone want to take a guess? Come on, don't be afraid. Someone? 10 million? Close. Uncle? More? More.
Is it 150, 150 billion?
Close. Okay, it's about $450 billion.
Wow. Wow, what a number. And I'd like to believe a chunk of that number sits here with us today. Now, I'd like to invite the mediator of our next session, the president and founder of Cap Digisoft Solutions, and the founder and CEO of Juggle, Mr. Arun Kumar.
Keynote speaker intro video போடலாங்களா?
Ganesh Shankar. Meet Ganesh Shankar, the Chief Executive Officer and one of the founders of RFPIO, the leading software for response management. Shankar's AI-enabled technology serves the sales process, empowering organizations to respond effectively to the information requests they receive, ultimately increasing win rates and revenue. Leveraging extensive experience in product management, software and leadership, Shankar ensures organizational excellence for RFPIO employees and customers. He is a strong advocate for diversity and inclusion, championing equality in the workplace. Led by Shankar, RFPIO has been ranked by Inc. magazine as one of the fastest growing private companies and counts many Fortune 500 companies as customers. Shankar was recognized by the Software Report as one of the top 50 SaaS CEOs of 2022. He was awarded the Ernst & Young Entrepreneur of the Year B&W winner in 2020. Voted top CEOs to work for in Portland by Comparably and honored in Portland Business Journal's 40 Under 40. With Ganesh Shankar at the helm, RFPIO is leading the way in response management software and driving success for organizations around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our keynote speaker for today, Ganesh Shankar.
So we decided to have a chit chat in front of you all. We are going to talk like a friends. So I cannot put certain numbers on the intro video, but just to set the good expectation, this company is doing a revenue of $70 to $100 million in 5th year from the startup. So you deserve a round of applause for us. And definitely that is a bootstrapped company, and I know that organization very well. I know him personally. And so that is the reason why I take a privilege, and I asked his permission to share this number with you all. So Ganesh, thank you so much. Glad to have you here.
Thanks, Arun. Really feeling honored to be here today. I recently moved to Dallas, so looking at all Tamil entrepreneurs really gave me goosebumps. So thanks for inviting me. I feel really honored to be here.
Thank you, Ganesh. We really struggled to accommodate all the achievements within the 2 minutes of video. We were scratching our head what to add, what to include, but we did our best. That being said, Ganesh, where are you from India? What is your journey from there?
Yeah, I'm basically from Coimbatore, born and raised in Coimbatore. I did my undergrad, postgrad, pretty much everything in Coimbatore. I worked for about 3 years in Chennai, that's it, and then I moved back to Coimbatore. So then from Coimbatore, I landed in Portland, Oregon, for another software company from Coimbatore.
Awesome. So, what is RFPIO?
So yeah, so the name should tell. For most of you probably are familiar with the term RFPs. In India we call it as tender. It's RFP, request for proposal. So basically what we do is we help companies to respond to RFPs. When they get an RFP, it's not like we are consultants helping them to write content, but pure play software which helps them to manage the content and centralize the content that goes into RFPs. If, for example, you get an RFP first time, you can respond to the RFP. Next time when you get another similar RFP, system becomes intelligent, and it helps you to finish your RFP quickly and efficiently. It also helps you to collaborate with so-called the subject matter experts when the sales team receives it. That's what the platform does. And now we are entering into RFP issuing side, which is tender issuing. So traditional, just a correction, we've been in business for almost, next month we'll be celebrating our 7th anniversary. It is not 5 years, but came in the market in 2016. It's been almost 7 years of journey thus far. So.
Thank you. So that means I've met you 5th year in your journey. So my brain thinks still you are in 5th year journey. Thank you for correcting that. So why you started this business?
Yeah, I usually say I don't have any cool garage story like Apple or Google did, or I don't have a dorm room story like I didn't come here for my master's and spend my time with my friends in a dorm room, nothing like that. It's no fancy story here. It's purely out of necessity. I was a product manager before starting RFPIO. Most of the time, if you look at it, I'm sure some of you may share this, as a product manager, you're so-called the pre-sales consultant. I was a pre-sales manager also. So a lot of times, I ended up responding to quite a few RFPs, helping my sales team to win deals. I estimated around 30 to 35% of my time was being spent on responding to RFPs and helping sales team to win. But I was there in the company for almost 9 years. Never once my manager called me and said, "Hey Ganesh, you did a fantastic RFP. I'm going to do a pay raise." I remember clearly, it's only 2 instances. where sales guys came to me and gave $100 gift cards. Hey, you helped us win a deal, this is all like, and I didn't care about $100 or not, but a lot of my energy was gone there, but no recognition, whereas my boss was managing, my performance based on product management, release cycle. That's how I was being measured. So it was taking a lot of time. So I was looking into the market to see if I can automate that process for myself to do my work efficiently, to focus on my primary job. So I ended up coming up with nothing. So that's when I was talking to my two other co-founders, Shankar and Sundar, both of them from India too. So they had a very similar, if you look at the company that we all working, I was the product manager, Sundar was the engineering manager answering all the technical questions, Shankar was the implementation manager. So we all shared the common pain. So we went to the market and saw if there's any product out there, nothing was there. So we ended up decided to take the reins on our own, and today we are here talking in front of you.
That's great, sir. Everyone says, don't search, if you want to look for an opportunity, look for on your daily schedule. Try to automate what you do on a repeated basis. Try to automate what you don't like to do. That is where the opportunity is. So I think your story relates to that. Awesome, thank you so much. Here, everyone have a dream to start a venture. And I'm sure your company is valued more than $1 billion based on your revenue. So everyone wants to be a unicorn. But the initial stage of ideation is super critical. And second stage is fundraising, correct? And ideation definitely we'll talk about, but I want to really focus on this about fundraising, right? How did you do that? How did you know that how much you need to raise, and where did you raise, Shailesh?
Yeah, we did a couple of rounds. Initially, when we started off, like I said, I was living on a paycheck to paycheck. I needed $1,500 to pay my apartment rent. That's how much I was. So, not my family background is entrepreneurial background. So, similarly, my co-founders, very similar story. So all of us needed money. So I wish I had some level of seed fund within me. If I look back, we'll talk about that later. So, but we went through initially some friends and, not friends and family, it is business acquaintance, one of the high net worth individual who I work with has seen me on the floor how I work, so he invested, it's an interesting journey for us, he gave us the first $10,000 to start the company. He said don't use any automated company creation and all, so he gave us $10,000 to start the company, to properly use a lawyer. And the good thing of what that individual did is he kind of set us a benchmark. Okay, if you do this, I can give. So what happened from 10,000, he ended up investing almost $500,000 in less than one year. So we were able to go through that process every time. One of the key criteria was I have to quit my job, and I can't have a safe bet on doing something on side, and this cannot be so. That was this $100,000 check that came into the business when I quit my job. So then I raised another couple of $1 million from local Portland. I was in Portland back then, Elevate Capital. So they invested a couple of $1 million. And then in 2018, we brought in a private equity firm. It's mainly not because of funding requirement, to answer your question. It is mainly to show, a lot of enterprise customers started questioning us. In 2018, if you look at 2 years into the business, they were really questioning our viability of business continuity. So are you guys going to be a real business? Because this is, I think it was Microsoft or Visa who was one of our customers. They were literally asking, you guys started in 2016 and you're talking to a company like us, what does your business plan look like, continuity plan look like, what does your financial audit look like? What audit you're talking about? What I was managing was cash in and cash out, what comes into my bank, what goes out of the bank is what I was managing. They were asking about GAAP and audited statement, nothing was there. So we decided to go with a private equity to show a banner behind us. We went with a private equity called K1 Capital out of LA. They're about a $14 billion fund right now. So they have a minority stake in our business. Again, we did not give up the majority. We intentionally kept it that. So at the moment, we've all put together, we have raised over $50 million from them. Outside of, we also have, gone through some debt round because we have done 2 acquisitions. So in last 18 months, we have acquired 2 different companies, so we needed some transaction for that. So we'll talk about that. I know you have some questions about the funding journey, but this is how we raised. It was clear product market fit kind of established from day one. And to be honest, again, our product, our customer base spoke for the funding, and our customers literally spoke for us, especially when in the second term when we did, a couple of customers voluntarily said, hey, whoever is investing in your business, let us know, we will talk. And they did talk, and that's how we got money.
So this is what, when you find a right market required product, your customer will advocate for you. We have heard many, many times, but this is the right example, what you say. And when I spoke to him, surprisingly, almost all the Fortune 100 companies are their customers. Everywhere had the problem of fixing RFP, submitting a proposal. Everyone had a problem, but nobody had a thought to start and solve it. So there are huge opportunities still exist around us. All we have to do is pay attention. So this is what I've learned from you, Ganesh. Thank you. So scaling a product company, it is not easy. Can you please share your experience on scaling your product company?
Yeah, we are almost 500 employees right now. In the matter of the scaling thing is what, if I look back at the most challenging thing. So from the get-go, we had an amazing product market fit. Arun said, we have over 100 of Fortune 500 customers right now who use our product today. But a lot of times, as founders, what I've noticed, if I look back, is probably I and my co-founders, stuck with the product management or stuck with certain, elements of the business to ourselves. The best thing I've personally feel, again, all entrepreneurs are super smart. They can find ways to overcome any challenges that have been thrown. But it is like in Tamil, so I felt like you have to bring in leaders who have done that. Been there, done that. At the same time, we have to be very cautious on it's up to you how we want to scale. Scaling is super critical because as you scale, there will be a lot of challenges you will find because things, one of the most important learning I had is people who've helped you from 0 to 10 million, only the same people from 10 to even 25 million. The moment you hit $25 million of revenue, the perspective changes. And then moment you bring on additional capital from an investor, things changes. So at that time, the way of thinking, because the most challenging piece as a founder, so I'm sure all of you can acknowledge, is managing people's expectation. I think that is what we can drag you down. So the right way to scale is to surround yourself with the right folks. And again, it may not be on a day one you will get that. You will have to do some trial and error, and that's how we did it. And I think we are at a very fortunate point that we have an amazing team. Not the founding team, I'm not talking about the founding team. We are 3 of our founders, but I'm talking about beyond that team. Scaling can only be achieved by the right folks at the right time.
Awesome, Ganesh. We have a habit of catching for coffee here and there, so I can pick his brain. He's kind enough to give the time to me. And he correctly mentioned about this. That is the reason why I asked this question. Because Arun, we have to change the team. I'm in the process of changing the team because I'm growing. The previous team unable to take the new vision because vision change every time when you grow. So thank you so much for sharing that, Ganesh. So the next question I wanted to ask you is your time, correct? As a CEO, you will be pulled from all over the place and you operate from different countries, correct?
Yep.
So if you can help us to understand time management, that'd be great. And also, I want to add, because of the time, I'm going to add one more question on that, your go-to-market strategy.
Yeah, sure. The time management as a founder and CEO varies at different stages of your company journey. That's what I was talking about. In the initial days, I think there are a lot of noise around us that's happening, especially around funding. A lot of people will think, okay, we need to get funding, we need to get funding, we need to get funding. So as a CEO, back then, if I look back, I basically had 3 different buckets. One is, of course, fundraising is number 1 bucket at that time. The second one is customer acquisition. The third one was building the team. And how I classified my time, almost 60 to 70% of my time was spent on fundraising back in the day. And then about 20% into customer acquisition and 10% into team building. If I were to do this again, I would spend 60 to 70% of my time in customer acquisition. It is not chicken and egg story. It is clearly customer comes first. Customers can bring in customers. Customers can bring in employees. Customer can bring in investors. That's the biggest learning that we had. So once I started, till date, we don't have a pitch deck. I'm not bragging. It is truly speaking. I don't have a pitch deck. My product spoke for itself. I had all the dashboards, the usage dashboard, how many customers that we have, how many time they're spending on the product, how much dollar they're paying. Everything was built inside the dashboard. I only had that even when we brought in K1, I did not have a PowerPoint deck to present the vision, mission, or the plan. All those things are great, but at the end of the day, if you don't have customers speaking that language, no matter what it is. So that's when. Now, my most important time right now is being spent on building the team. I feel like I have a very good team right now. We brought in our new CMO came from DocuSign. He took the company to public when at DocuSign. And similarly, our CRO, I was managing sales and marketing. And then I brought in a CRO who is from another $800 million business called Conga. So he was the CRO there, so we brought him there. So now, if I look at my time, I mostly spend on customers. I spend time in front of my customer, especially on an enterprise customer, especially in the given market. The most important thing I'm realizing is to retaining customers than spending time in new. Of course, I've given my time to new business, and we have account managers. The basic thing is they can use up to 5 hours of my time in a week, account managers, to put that in my calendar to go talk to customers, and outside of that, I will also reach out to customers. So I've given my time to spend energy on retaining customer, and then I'm slowly building it. In fact, while coming on the way, we were talking about some sales plans to incentivize how to retain customers. So that's where my time has been spent right now.
Awesome, Ganesh. We have been on the stage talking for 25 minutes. We never know we spoke for 25 minutes. Already I'm getting a signal. Arun, you are not keeping up your time. So one last question before we wind up. What is the top 3 advice you give for a startup entrepreneurs?
The basic thing I would say is network. So I personally feel the reason why our company is here is because of the network effect that we have. Of course, that's what you're doing. The second one is humility. I think a lot of times we will get a chance to do. So I was just talking to a budding entrepreneur. I think not to act as the smartest person in the room, and rather keep your eyes and ears open. But doesn't mean that you have to be so down to earth. You can be competitive. There's a line between competitiveness and being arrogant. So I think that's the humility. So being under the line makes a huge difference. So networking, being humility, and make sure you surround yourself with the right team. Those are the 3 things I would say.
If you allow me to add, start doing things. Just don't plan. Action.
Of course.
Thank you. Thank you, Ganesh. Thank you so much. Ganesh is going to be here. He's coming here to spend his full day with us. He's going to stay till evening. Please plan to network with him. Use his time wisely. Ask constructive questions. So it's time. We have so many quality speakers, successful people like Ganesh lined up. So soon I will meet you in next session. Please, team. Thanks, Arun.
Now we would also like to invite Mr. Arun Kumar to recognize Mr. Ganesh Kumar for his accomplishments with a plaque.